Hi, and welcome to Culture of Paint. In this episode, we're going to take a look at what's caught our eye over the last few weeks in the miniatures painting world. For our main topic, we're going to look ahead to a few things that we're really keen to see come to fruition in 2024. And we'll close out, as usual, taking a look at what the hashtag Paint Cultists have been up to. Now, Culture of Paint's aimed at a mature audience, and we might use explicit language and discuss adult themes. Now, let's talk about paint.
And
right, and we're back in the chats there. Go on, have your gulp of tea. It's early enough.
I was waiting for you to stop talking.
like a seagull eating a fish. Right.
I thought something else, but it was way ruder than that.
Nice to see some familiar names in the chat and some new ones. Love to see you all there. So we made it. We're on schedule. It's a good start to the year. I'm Henry, and joining me as usual are Matt, Andy, and Rich. Hello, chaps. You all right?
I'll do.
Yep. Good.
Let's do it.
Good. Well, no more waffle because we've had 20 minutes of waffling as all of us are useless with technology bar. Matt, let's get straight into it.
Cool.
What's the picks for this week?
Right.
What has caught our eye? Because it's been a juicy one.
First up is
strong start of the year. Oh, this one's me. So
yes.
I thought this was going to be Andy.
So so I was up at Warhammer World on Saturday for the launch of Warhammer the Old World, and I think one of the highlights of the day was certainly this miniature. Yeah, I mean, what a blinding sculpt and paint job, eh?
Is this the best new Old World sculpt so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, no contest, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
want it.
The Bone Dragon is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, it is impressive, that kit. Like, I saw it for the first time built and painted, and like, it's
the
cool.
Bone Dragon's the best. Yeah, you're right.
But this is now the second best Orc Shaman model ever.
I really want to paint it, actually. I really want to. And that's rare for me and Orcs, but it's spot on.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. We'll buy it, and you can have him, and I'll have the pot grots, because it's the pot grots I really want to go with my my other Cruel Boy Shaman. So there we go.
Hey, I want him, my army.
Easy peasy.
Someone said in the chat, won't that troll just regenerate around his head? Which I think is a good point.
That's a very good point.
Great paint job too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just letting you know right now, it's gone furry at the end. Not even gonna read that one. Right. So I didn't know. So it's pretty big, eh?
I didn't know that there was an event up at Warhammer World this Saturday.
Yeah, it was a funny one. So it wasn't ticketed, and there were organised things going on. So there was like lots of tables for open play with like the books. There was demo tables. They had some cabinets, like a couple of cabinets with some of the painted miniatures in from the Bretonnians and the Tomb Kings. And there was like a full tilt game going on all day and stuff. So it was fine. I don't know. I wish Games Workshop events were a bit more fun and over the top and exciting.
Let's not get started about Games Workshop.
You know,
events,
but it was like it was really lovely. You know, it was lovely to see sort of all these excited people. You know, about Old World. So the old Warhammer Fantasy setting before it came Age of Sigmar, if you're not aware of it, sort of much more kind of classical Tolkien-esque sort of fantasy style. So really lovely to see that. Cool to see some armies out on the table. Like for me, I always love seeing big painted armies, not just single minis. Someone had done a whole Lumineth army on squares, and the spearmen look pretty fucking sick. Like as a big block.
I am kind of looking forward to like the return of the movement tray.
Yeah, it was cool.
You can have my movement tray, Matt.
You know, it was a good day, and and went with my little hobby group, and two of those boys are like absolutely frothing about it. So it was really cool to go and spend it. But yeah, they showed at the same point, they showed the next army they're releasing, which is the Orcs and Goblins, and there's a handful of new sculpts, including this guy, and a few more that we haven't seen, and some really, really, really old stuff coming back on made to order, which is really cool. Like the original, well, not quite. Was he the original giant? He's the Marauder giant, so he probably was the original.
They probably looked at the old molds of those and went, "Oh, we could squeeze a few more quid out."
Well, I wondered that they obviously ran out of like finding stuff in the bins to stick in the boxes, and then they were saying in one of the Warhammer community articles how they've had to retool all the molds for these made to order ones and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Was the event full of people of our vintage, shall we say, or was there a mix? Was it, because I would expect it to be all the old boys like us?
It was older than say like Fest was, but it wasn't like it didn't feel like certain areas of Salute. Put it that way. It wasn't God's waiting room then. No, it didn't feel like. To be fair, it probably was. It was a lot of people, sort of 30s, like I don't know, mid to late 30s, 40s, that sort of group. Okay. But yeah, it's just nice to be around happy, excited hobbyists, right?
Yeah,
sure is.
I haven't been to a show in a while.
So that was it was a good day. But as I say, for me, the highlight was this mini. I don't want to be sad about this is what we could have if they did the whole army again, but just be happy that we've got this wicked.
All boys are back, mate. I'm stoked.
Yeah, that paint job's really fucking good.
Cool, isn't it? Who's different? Do we guess? Can we guess? I don't know who it is.
Don't know.
I want to know what's on his left shoulder as well. It looks like some weird crustacean-y thing.
Oh yeah,
like a lobster or something.
Yeah.
I just want the model. Give me the model.
So yeah, cool. That's my pick. Could have been a lot of things. We had our LVO, obviously, the reveals this week. Lots of very exciting stuff off there. Solar and bits and bobs.
Recruits.
But I'm sure we'll talk about those over the next few weeks and when they're released anyway. So yeah. Nice. What's up next, Matt?
Up next is...
It's my pick.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought this was...
Ooh, look at that yellow.
Yeah, it just... we've talked about it before. You go for Instagram and you're like, yeah, whatever. But this one kind of stopped me, and I was like, yeah, that's super cool. It's a Carol Ruddick sculpt, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, she's done a cracking job on it. Really, really good. Probably hard to see on the small screen, but the skull on the staff's got this little blue glowing eye, and I want to do a piece where a little tiny blue thing is draws a lot of attention. I was like, oh, that's just what I want to do. But also good use of a backdrop. Got a lot of backdrop fatigue and getting bored of them. But this is how to do it. How to do it well, I think. So yeah, just fantastic. Yeah, she's done a great job of that.
Yeah, it's banging.
Cool,
nice. Cool.
Nice.
Go have a proper look at it.
I love how the rocks are attached to the backdrop, just to kind of break it up a little bit, so it's not just like a big slab of painted backdrop, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I really like it. I really love that green in the back with the light coming in the middle. That's super cool.
Very atmospheric.
It's framed well with the head thing when you look at it at that angle.
Yeah, it's just great, isn't it? Yeah, nothing bad to say about this. It's superb. Bring it to the MPO, please. That would be great.
Do this.
Got a few people asking us about GD. Nope, we don't know anything yet. We may or may not get to chat about it with people, but yeah, there's nothing been announced yet. There's good people who want it to happen, so fingers crossed. We'll get stuff soon, and obviously we'll cover stuff as soon as we get any news and stuff on that. Which might be a good point to mention. We're going to be trying out a couple of audio only podcasts soon, sort of in between these ones that we do live over on YouTube. So we're going to get the Spotify set up, and they'll be shorter, but they will allow us to be a little bit more reactionary as well. So if we get some sort of pertinent news, or if there's a little topic that we don't think is maybe worth the whole show and us all getting together. So keep an eye out for that, but we will announce it nice and soon. And just the best comments so far in the chat being, well, it isn't called the Young World. It's a very fair point.
Not wrong.
So yeah, I mean, Adepticon's not Not that far away, right? You got your countdown clock on yet, Matt?
I can't face it. I only just base coated. Yeah, this weekend. So
Hey, I'm still building mine,
I was going to
dude.
say
So
it's
you're
further
fine.
ahead than you are. Further ahead than Andy.
yeah, but he paints better than me.
I'm gonna prime it next week. All right, next week I will prime it. All right.
Good. Good.
Yeah, we all the things in the chat, we literally know nothing. Like we could say stuff, but we'd literally just be guessing. So
and for what it's worth, like that could change within 24 hours. Anything we're told. So.
Just spin a wheel of fortune. That'd be your best bet.
Yeah,
just make some stuff up.
We promise that we are using all of our tiny sway or influence or pathways or whatever you want to call it to shout about it and champion it and try and make sure it's as good as it's as good as it can be. Mike, hope they aren't Spotify only. No, it'll be whatever Matt sorts out, mate. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Right. Let's have a go. What's next, Allied?
Next up is
I wonder who that is.
Not Rich.
It's not Richard.
No, that's me.
Ooh.
Negative.
Yep.
What's got you here?
So I saw someone share a story from this account of a kit bash, kits, plastic card, and all that stuff, and scratch built. But yeah, he just makes these. Well, recently he's been doing these just epic robots as armigers, and they just look epic.
Yeah,
I don't know what else. Like, yeah,
that's
they're
wicked.
Just brilliant.
That's a bit of me. That is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's another one on his accounts. Like they're very I don't know, like future mech type thing. They've got massive swords and stuff, and just brilliant.
I'm itching for Gundam, man. I'm itching for it. I want
to
get some
making
stuff
me
done.
wait. Come on.
I'm trying to make try to work out how many different kits it is, and also it's huge.
Yeah, it's like he's extended out the legs. He's made it bigger. There's a load of plastic ard on there.
Well, the hands are for the Rock'em and Sock'em robots, the Mechanicum ones, and they are pretty big.
Oh yeah,
it's the size of a knight.
Big.
We got that knight top on the chest piece. Yeah, that's the top.
But it's the mini knight top, I think.
Yeah,
it's
very cool.
And what's cool about it is he's somehow got them in like
articulated,
posable. I'm not really sure how that works, but
sick.
Pretty wicked.
Oh, that's really good.
Is he doing a thumbs up?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So, like every account we feature or stuff we talk about, we'll always put the links to them down in the description, so you can go check them out if you want to. Good choice, mate.
The giant rat that makes all the rules says the rest of the army is awesome, and he has pilots for them too. Ooh.
Oh, so it's for gaming. It's not just the lols.
No, this is his army.
What does he? So he runs with knights.
Yeah, so they're like armigers or counts as armigers.
Ah, yeah.
The little ones. And they're I think he's a big fan of Titanfall.
Yeah.
I would guess so.
Nice. Good choice, mate.
Good choice.
So that means it is Rich. That's you then, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm itching to do a tank, man.
It's just I'm back in. I go around in my little cycle of things that interest me, and I'm back in the little historical, super weathered phase of my hobby at the moment, and this popped up, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool weathered, historical." And then I really looked. I was like, "Holy shit, that is good."
Yeah.
And it was on my explore page on Instagram. It wasn't on somebody that I already followed. It was just a random thing that popped up, and went and looked at their page, and it's a lot more of this, and it's fucking good. Not just like they're good, like top tier. And it's made me really want to paint a really weathered tank. So
is this a Challenger?
I think it's Challenger 1.
Yeah.
Don't get any points for that on this podcast, Matt. So
no, we put it in our little friendship group, and it was just the two realistic hobby nerds that were like, "It's a Challenger Mark 1."
It's just really cool. It's
or
a very
Centurion
cool green tank.
Don't care. It's cool though.
Yeah, I love the tracks and the they call them road wheels, the wheelie bits.
I think so.
Love that. How big is it?
I think it's 135.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
I think, don't quote me, but I had a
we
quick
said
look
we
on
were
the
going to do
page.
some this year, didn't we? So
Yeah,
here we go. Well, January's almost gone already.
New Year,
only 11 months left.
I know, right?
Yeah.
10.5 months left to
Don't.
procrastinate.
I've got my
Yeah.
Minotaur. I've got my Minotaur ready.
Smash
I
it
hope
out.
they don't make a
It's
plastic
fair,
one.
yeah. Lived
a
at my house for a
Minotaur.
couple of years, and now
Yeah.
it's been back at yours for another few now.
I've got those paints, haven't I? We're just
No, well, as I say,
color
we'll talk
test
about
away.
Solar Auxilia soon. So I think there'll be plenty of coverage on those brave diving suit clad humans.
I would think so.
Yeah, be cool. Right. So after that, I think we do have meme this week because this. I mean, I suppose they are memes. We're back to old world here, and there was a real gift to the internet arseholes whose artistic work we thoroughly enjoy, so part of this old world release, they have decided to bring back some previously unreleased miniatures, which I think is really cool. The Bone Giant, for instance, had an alternative head sculpt, and they're releasing that when it comes out. And they've also got a new old Bretonian Lord model that came out. And yeah, gave us these memes. Just a few, just a smattering of the ones
more
that were out
safe
there.
ones.
Basically daily. No,
You're
we
scaring the
couldn't
peasants is
we
the
couldn't
best.
just pick one meme. This is a handful of our favourites.
You're scaring the peasants is unreal.
Yeah. So it's a very cool idea doing these unreleased minis for sure.
Here's a genuine question, right? This is not it's quite shady, but do you think they didn't release it because of the face sculpt back then?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay. I thought they were like, no, this we shouldn't release this. The face isn't fantastic.
No.
But you don't think that's the reason?
No,
I mean,
probably should have been, but
that's never stopped them with certain things, has it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's some absolute whoppers out there of miniatures that have somehow gone through over the years.
Do you think
and
they
even more recently, right? You know,
true.
So.
Do you reckon the person who was painting that for the heavy metal team looked at it and was just like, "Are you fucking like what have I done?"
I don't know, but they had
rock paper scissors.
They had like, and I do feel a bit of an arsehole because it's not very nice picking on someone's work, and normally we don't do it, but this one's just been making us laugh so much this week. But I'm just popping on Warhammer Community. I'm certain there was in the article they had the designer talking about it. Now, here we go. Let's have a look. It was shown at Games Day in its green form in 2008.
Wow.
So there's a few ones coming. Bretonian Lord on foot, sculpted in 2008 but never released till now. Someone remembered that the miniature. Someone remembered it and said, "Is it still around anywhere?" The mold room still had it. Had never been pressed or anything. So they made a new master, made him in metal. Now it's Martin who sculpted it originally.
Foot it.
And exactly, right? And so
no way.
It's not necessarily indicative of an artist's work, always like one piece, right? So yeah. He was made in modeling putty with sculpting tools. Here we go. Martin, originally sculpted Lord. I was very proud to make it. A soft spot for it. I previously worked on the Trebuchet and Crew, and then obviously painted that amazing one for Golden Demon.
But
he was modeling putty. I'd wanted to do a Lord on foot. He was meant to be the Games Day exclusive mini. In the end, they replaced it with that Chaos Lord. So yeah, there you go. So
the thing is,
it is
cool, like
Martin,
the design, right?
Yeah. Well, we've extolled and appreciated a lot of his work over the podcast. So I hope he doesn't mind a little bit of gentle ribbing. But yeah, it's hilarious.
Never seen a mini holding gloves though, which is super cool. You know,
as a concept, it's wicked, right?
Yeah, it's just the face. Right?
It's just the face. Like, it's absolutely that's all it is. It's just cool. The face.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then having said that, I still cannot believe that if you go onto the Games Workshop store and search for the Raven Guard miniatures from the Horus Heresy, there is a head in there that I genuinely can't believe they released.
What, a new one?
Yep.
No, it's the old sniper kit. Well, I can't think what they're called now. Not the Dark Furies, the other ones.
Okay.
I thought someone sent to me that I thought it was a joke. So yeah. So, but you know,
fair.
So it's fair. But you know, enough being mean. Let's talk about lots of amazing models that we can't wait to see, and amazing accounts and things like that. So main topic. I feel like a real dick now for picking that as a meme because that's someone's work that they've worked fucking hard on. But anyway, there we go.
He made the high elf like creme de la
right.
creme. You can't like
it's
done.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So
just a bit of fun.
Everyone has an off day. More death in thanks, Piers. Yeah, go and check that out if you want some lols. So main topic, ones to watch for 2024. So the idea behind this one is pretty self-explanatory, really. We did a look back on 2023, and now we're sort of doing a look forward, as it were, into this year. And it's for some painters or some artists that we're sort of we're thinking about, but then there's also some projects and some events coming up this year that we are really excited about and want to put in the diary and want to make sure that people are aware of. And have a little natter about. And I've no idea what order they're in. So let's jump in.
Slides?
Oh.
Not ahead of time.
I can't remember. Oh, here we go. Yes. So a regular account that we feature, but something a bit new from them. What's different about those picks, eh?
32 mil. Woohoo!
Really dangerous.
Lucas Pina gaming miniatures. That is
wild.
Massive. Yeah.
I mean, you saw his Radagast.
Right? Yeah, just casual.
How much of that did he sculpt, Matt, the Radagast?
I think a bit of it. Like, it's not the it's not the official model, is it?
I don't
think it is. No, I'm pretty sure it's not the official model. Doesn't look that good.
Just full sculpted, is it? Wow.
I'll have to find it, but yeah.
I'm more interested in some of these than his busts because you could do a little scene with them because they're small enough. There's the like dwarf lord on a ram or something, 4 mini, and that interests me so much because doing a little scene with that would be amazing. So yeah, wouldn't want to actually game with them, but miniatures of that size in his style, really, really excited for that. So
I definitely want to game with them. I'd love a little warband of them. It'd be amazing.
Right.
But what
that Radagast model that you're talking about. So conversion work. He modified the expression of the brow, just casual, changed the facial expression on a miniature smaller than your thumb. The eyes, the ear, the staff. Added leaves to the bag, changed the position of the arm and the legs, modelled most of the vest and the little spider on the base.
It's casual.
It's just casual, and then just paints absolutely outstandingly.
Casual stuff.
I always forget what good painter he is. Like, we featured his orcs, didn't we? What about yeah?
It's the worst, man. When he
It's
did that Stormcast, when he did that Stormcast with the white bird thing, I was just like, "Are you for real?" And the orcs. Like, oh, that shaman he did. It's just, yeah.
It's just
right? So,
go away.
So yeah, as I say, someone we're a massive fan of, but particularly exciting for us being.
Do you think he'll do the small pre-order window like he normally does, or just do them on his website regular?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I imagine he'll do the small pre-order window. It's kind of his whole shtick.
Yeah, it's quite a lot to cast too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be really, really like handy to just be like anything that I can conceivably think of in my head. It's fantasy based. I can just create in all of its entirety from concept to sculpting to painting.
Desperate to learn it.
Yeah,
must be pretty helpful. There's no barriers to your like imagination at all.
You're only limited by your imagination.
Yeah, he ain't.
No.
If he thinks it, he can create it. Not
it's
that
true.
It's
true, right? But you know what's impressive as well is the constant work. Like, there's tons of great artists, right? But you see one or two things from them, you know, but it's been
every 3 months,
for years. Yeah.
Man's got
I
work
like
ethic.
that he doesn't
Impressive.
do any more though. You know, he's worked out the right, amount, and yeah, I hope he has nice chilled out days where he just sculpts and creates. That's what I hope. The sort of lifestyle he's got.
Just like goes into some old school style little workshop where there's like the animals from outside just pop in and say hello
Well,
to them.
presumably,
Like,
you imagine he's like that little gnome figure that will feature a bit later on.
yeah, literally, yeah.
So yeah, a great one to kick off that, mate. So yeah, if you're not following the account already, absolutely well worth it. Lucas Pina, yeah,
We should all paint one.
Outstanding artist.
Because they're 32, right?
32 mil.
Paint one.
Here we go.
Imagine if it's just successful and then he does it like his sort of style elves, but in 32.
I'm not bothered about that, to be
Why'd you have
honest,
to go and
myself.
ruin
Yeah, not sort of bothered.
it? But yeah,
Happy with the elves I got.
the ones on the bottom row, middle.
Yes, that's
Are
what I
those
want.
are
Them
those
ones.
32 as well?
Yes, that's
Yeah, I
what
want the
ones I
wizard.
want. That's the one with the one on the sheep. That's the dwarf on the sheep.
Right.
Yeah, I want the dwarf and the sheep, and I want Gandalf.
Oof.
I just want that dwarf on the bloody sheep. Whole models. Yes. Let's go.
Very, very cool. Very, very
Let's
cool.
go.
So yeah, there's one that we're going to be all over when it comes out. What's
Too right.
up next, Matt? Olden Demon. So this is both an event and a YouTube channel that we thoroughly enjoy, and we mentioned it a few episodes back.
It cracks me up, man, every
Yeah,
time.
it's very amusing. If you like certain style of delivery, and
British
comedy.
humour.
Yeah, but also like a fairly prolific creator, very, very watchable. A focus obviously with the name on sort of old Hammer, so sort of Warhammer of the 90s, really, sort of old into middle Hammer. But they also run a competition which is going on in May, same time as another exciting competition coming this year, called Olden Demon. It was an Eldar, wasn't it? The one last year, was it, or an elf? I can't remember.
No, it was a war dancer.
That was it. It was an elf war dancer. Yeah.
I think I'm going to do Agerman. Yeah, I think Agerman I'm going to do.
Oh yeah,
you've been paying Old Hammer for the last God knows how long for your army, mate.
Hey, don't be
I
mean,
want to
Rich.
paint it properly.
Fuegan is current Hammer for the Eldar. What are you on about?
Yeah,
it's the latest model for him, dude.
I fucking hate that guy. Are we gonna do old
I'd like to. Yeah.
Someone's
Absolutely.
got to help me differentiate between what's middle Hammer and old and Hammer.
I'm pretty sure middle Hammer's fine. There's
it's 20 years old is the rule.
Basically, as long as anything up to 2000, you're absolutely fine. Don't worry.
That's when I rocked up, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to do Agerman, I think, because I really enjoyed doing Fugan, but I kind of not rushed him, but I did him quick. But I'd love to do a paper banner for Agerman and paint it properly.
Nice.
I really like the channel. There's just some of the best one-liners. There's this one-liner about breaking house arrest to go to a Warhammer event, and it cracks. I can't remember what it is, but it cracks me up every time. And the wardrobe with the least stained flame shirt. That's another amazing line. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite hobby YouTube channel, and I think the online competition, I think, for old minis is super cool. So yeah, just really looking forward. I think it will grow quite a bit.
Yeah, that's it. As long as Kev Adams sculpted it, you're fine. Yeah, pretty much. Kev Adams, Colin Dixon, Jez Goodwin, Gary Morley, Trish Carden, the Perrys.
I need a good older Hammer vehicle
in there. Some of the Brian Nelson stuff would be Ali Morrison. Yeah, good times.
If it's metal, just there. You good?
You're fine. Yeah. What would you do, Matt? Have you got any ideas?
Well, it's either going to be an Orc or a Blood Angel.
Oh, a Blood Angel.
But
I've got a bit of a lob on for them at the minute.
I have a couple of old like metal Marines, but they're so bad, the casts. I can't bring myself to actually paint it.
I need an old vehicle. What's a good old vehicle? Like one of the old. Let's get hold of one of the old killer cans. Like the really
Yeah,
fucking old
nice.
killer cans.
Nice.
You could
Well,
do a
do you mean-
metal dreadnought, dude.
Would a killer can be? I don't know whether killer can makes it into. Might be right on the cusp of middle hammer with a killer can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think-
certainly
That-
the
that-
classic
that was really cool.
Orc Dread, which basically
Mm.
was what became the killer cans, wasn't
They're
it?
so expensive on eBay.
Yeah.
That's the problem
Are
as well
they?
now. Like old hammer.
I've got the cardboard one.
Mate,
What
my
was the
mate,
first?
best
what was
mate
the-
growing up had a full painted Orc army of that era. It was amazing.
What was the first
I
ever
finished
plastic
that whole
vehicle?
box.
Say, mate, first of what?
What was the first ever plastic vehicle that they did?
Plastic vehicle. Well, you had the Land Raider
Dread thing.
Mark IIB, didn't you? You had the Space Crusade Dreadnoughts. You had the Orc,
It was the weird looking dreadnought with the funny face, wasn't it?
Orc Battle Wagon. That I had that when I was a kid, and that was old when I was a kid, and they all came in that like Caramac coloured plastic.
Yeah, maybe like an old
me-
Predator, an old
yeah,
Rhino or
Metal
something. That would be
Predator.
fun.
So you got the OG like Demos, what are now called Demos pattern, haven't you?
Mm.
Rhino and Predator.
I like the old Whirlwind with the.
Oh
How
yeah,
many...
Oh, mate, the old Razorback's the one, right? With the actual
Oh
dude,
yeah.
dude on
And
top.
then the red with the yellow stripes. Oh, I'd do a Razorback. That would be
I'll have a look at an old
great.
vehicle. That'd be cool.
Nice.
Out of production land.
What chapter though?
Leader.
Yeah,
Ultramarine.
all the land speed.
Yeah, I love old Ultramarines.
Yeah, it's got to be an Ultramarine,
Nice.
Mm,
an Ultra Machine.
yeah, cool.
Well, I am planning, I think, to do a rat.
Yeah,
So,
which
There
one?
we go. One of
Surprise.
the several hundreds that I have in the loft.
Yeah, I'm pretty set on Azurman. I think.
I've got an idea.
Um,
There's a Skaven with a staff and a little flail, like morning star thing. And I've always I've painted it a few times, that model, for
Oh.
various like Frostgrave and D&D and stuff. And I'd love to really take my time on it. But any of that old Jez Goodwin Skaven is just pure joy
Yeah.
to do.
Gorka Morka old hammer? Or is that too?
Yeah,
mid
that's
hammer?
got to count.
Yeah,
It better.
Yeah.
It better because I plan on doing a lot of it this year. So yeah.
Right.
oh, you made the longest trucks in Gorka Morka, like
Yeah,
because you had to physically fit the orcs in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
So I
there's a
literally
really
glued bits and made one that long. It's so dumb.
excellent
I was 10 though.
couple of articles on Goonhammer about Gorka Morka and sort of what it was, because it was only out for a year.
Was it?
1 year, and that was it. It disappeared.
Someone's
Um,
doing one.
And the big reason that you had that basically make the vehicles as big as you want is because they were given 2 plastic kits for the game. That was it. The truck and the Orc Boys sprue.
Track. War track on it.
So and you had the track and the buggy were already like in the Orc range.
Mm.
And that was basically it. And then they were like, we're not really going to give you many resources, but you need to make a game out of this. But it's a really interesting article. Two articles to go and read if you fancy that. So that's on Goonhammer.
I think it was Maxine's just built one
Yeah.
for it, and it
As
looked absolutely fucking incredible out of one of the new cars. But he's got it like he's extended the deck, but he's done it really well, so you can fit all the actual models on it and stuff.
Yeah, I
I-
didn't do my deck extension well.
Just
I know
bolts and
if-
plastic card on.
I don't know if I should say this, but I have been told there is a challenge going on inside for old Gorka Morka. So
That-
we may see a lot more.
Mate, I'd play Gorka Morka. That'd be fun.
It was a great game.
Just
Yeah, I
orcs,
never
man, it's
actually.
good.
It's the one game I didn't play, but I was
I never played it.
really. I did loads of stuff with it. Yeah. there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
A couple of my mates got me this for my birthday the other week, and it's one of the old Gorka Morka posters, and it's been bringing me a
loved
lot
it,
of
man.
joy looking at that.
I used to
week or
build
so.
roll cages for the vehicles. Just
Man,
get
this
some
sounds
wire.
fun. I'd play this game. This sounds really fun.
Yeah, but did you see the bases, Rich? How small they were?
No.
They were like little tiny ovals. Must have been
They weren't even
Under,
ovals.
like-
They were
wiggles.
squiggly bits. Yeah, textured squiggly bits.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
look
you
at
could,
that.
but otherwise you couldn't fit them in the war truck. You see.
correct.
So imagine the footprint they've got, and then the base being the minimum to like go to their feet.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
6 mil sort of wide or something. It was crazy.
Nice.
Absolutely. And obviously, for me, the biggest thing about Gorka Morka really is that's when we finally saw like Brian Nelson, like full on unleashed on orcs, and he just changed it all. You know, he
Did that
he
big
created,
mech guy, didn't he?
yeah, he created what Seb Herbert then took on again. You know, just huge, amazing. But it was that and Epic were the two games I played the most as a young man.
Yeah, I never played Gorka Morka, but I was like, you know, when you're a kid and I just read the book cover to cover every week, and I was like, I sort of read the rules, and theoretically, if I played a game, then I could have done it maybe.
The rules were
but
very
I was into
very
doing the
orky.
Warband.
Yeah, it was very random, but it was but from a hobbyist point of view, it was a lot of fun, man. Like, you know, you needed very few miniatures. It was all silly. Just good times. It really was. Like Necromunda, really.
Yeah. Orcs are kind of perfect for that, aren't they? They're just a bit silly and dumb, and like they are just a laugh, which I really like about them, to be fair.
And I like the idea of Orc on Orc as well, like clans, you know.
Yeah, they are one of the few factions where that actually it isn't mental, is
it? So Johnson, Gorka Morka would make a great video game. It would, and it was being developed. And then
really
the game Gorka Morka got shit canned, and the game it never got finished. Yeah, it was coming out for Sega, Dreamcast, and
Sega.
Yeah. So
in conclusion, Olden Demon will be great.
So yeah, coming up in May, I'm sure we'll bring it up again when we talk about stuff we are working on. Right, what's up next, Matt?
So up next, now you have to cast your mind back as well for this one. So early 2000s, Forge World was still a thing.
Blow up this page.
Yeah. And they used to have a collector series.
I forgot about some of these, Matt.
1/6 scale, like stuff, 54 mil, 75 mil. They did it all through Forge World. And basically, this is maybe not what to look forward to in 2024, but this is me trying to manifest them to bring back proper display.
No, Matt. That's not how we're going to open it. We're going to open it with, we've been hearing rumours that.
Just tell Jamie and he'll tell everyone.
Yeah.
tell Jamie
we'll fix that in we'll fix that in editing. We've heard from our source in Games Workshop that they want to bring it back.
I'll text Jamie now and everyone will know. So hang on.
But
New
no,
Warhammer busts are coming, confirmed, done.
So yeah, I mean, like
there's online now.
You have the whole sort of gaming aspect, and that's what they make their money on. Their GW make their money through selling like 10-man Space Marine squads. That's where it all comes in. But I think they did lose something when they stopped developing these series, just from like a painting perspective. And I really would like them to do it again, but in a more modern way. Yeah,
we've got the best person up for the job in the chat, Mr. Tom Hughes, doing the unbelievable Golden Demon entries. Man, how many Tau busts do you reckon they'd have sold?
They would have sold loads. And I was thinking about it today. Like, there's so many ways they could quite easily do it. They could license it out. They could do a limited run built to order. Like, I can understand, like, things like that are going to take up a lot of production time on machines, so they can't obviously keep it going forever. But, you know, one a year on a 1/6 like scale bust of a tower or an orc, 200 quid. I'd easily pay that by 2.
200 quid for what? A bust?
Yeah, the big bust.
They're big. Yeah. They're big, mate.
Oh.
They are.
Oh, I don't want big.
They're big old things.
Well,
they used to do the staff. The staff miniatures every year, didn't they, for a while as well? Like a 54 mil version, often of some of the miniatures.
That's the dream. Bring back Inquisitor, because that's more possible, because they can. Everything's got to be a game. Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? Is that everything has to be a game.
I think I'd play that game.
Well, I suppose that's where licensing it out comes in, right?
And we have almost
Weta.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. So we've seen this with McFarlane. And you have obviously their Ogren and the other stuff they've been doing. And NRM has done a brilliant conversion of that as a bust. So that's going to be cool. And then you have the Weta Workshop one, whatever the massive one,
£1 million Space Marine.
That's $1,500.
Is he, or is he the $2,000 one? Is he the?
That's the expensive one. That's the $1,500 or New Zealand dollar.
What's that in real money?
Who knows? I mean, we don't have real money.
Too much.
Anymore, so,
it's too much, but then it also comes painted as well. Like,
yeah,
I don't want it painted. I want to paint it. But no. So obviously, these two amazing things, last two GDs.
Yeah.
Sell them. Give them to the people.
Or just double Tom's salary and let him sculpt busts. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just do that.
I would, I'd love them to do Inquisitor, because then they can angle it for a game, which seems to be all they're interested in. Is it has to be for a game. They can't just do a mini for fun. It's got to be used in a game.
Well, all right, but I'm not disagreeing. I'm just making a counterpoint for the sake of it. We do get random minis from them. Now, admittedly, they sometimes give them rules.
What like though?
But
well, it's like the
I'm just thinking of things like
the Christmas grots.
The Christmas
it has
grots
rules.
Stuff. You had the Goth Rocker a few years ago, a year or two ago.
It's on a gaming base, though. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I do, but I'm just sort of trying to see if there is still a little thread of willingness to do stuff that isn't for games.
I'm being salty.
I don't. Yeah, you can't tell.
I mean, I agree with you, but yeah.
I think it's true though. I don't think there is anything that isn't based in, like, every single model that's around. You have a rules for. Even the really, really old, like, Forge World stuff. When they did the Legends rules, it was this model doesn't exist. It doesn't have rules, but this is what it will count as when you play with it. So, like, there's the really good, just off the top of my head, there's the, like, the Greek hoplite style Space Marines, and there's the Dreadnought
Minotaurs.
Minotaurs. There's the Contemptor Minotaur, Minotaur. That's just now a regular Contemptor, and it says use the rules like this. But I agree with Andy. They don't create models anymore that are just this is a model for the sake of the model. Everything has rules. Everything.
Yeah. But I think that's where they've they've kind of shoehorned themselves into it has to be a game now. But, like, okay, but they're selling miniatures. Like, their game is a big part of it, but their whole model base, their whole business base is selling miniatures, not just the game. And I think having some just specific display pieces, I mean, they could chuck some resources at it. It's not going to hurt them, let's face it. But it's just whether they'll do it.
I don't know. I think if you're creating one product, and you're selling it just to the people that just paint, that don't game, no gamers are going to buy it. Whereas if you create a model that's cool and gives it rules, you got more likelihood of those two groups actually
what they
getting
could
it.
do, I mean, they could easily just ask the McFarlane people how many of this stuff did they sell, and I guarantee it's a lot.
But that's a toy ready.
I was going to say it's a collectible in it.
Not all of them. A lot of the McFarlane stuff isn't painted.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But all of them come painted or not? Correct. There's none that have come out only unpainted. They bring them out as a dual release, painted, unpainted.
Yeah, I think so.
Possibly. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but it's.
I think that
you're laughing. Well, I'm laughing at.
Yeah, Richard's really on one in the chat tonight. Yeah. Fair play, mate. I don't blame you.
Maybe if they made Golden Demon a game, we would get rules.
Yeah, but come on. Well, there's new rules for Armies on Parade, though. They announced today. That was salt in the wound.
Well, do you know what I thought was in? Let's. We'll come back to this one absolutely. But there was a phrasing on that I thought was quite interesting, and I wonder if it is potentially indicative of why there seems to be something amiss with Golden Demon at the minute. Armies on Parade 2024, the painting competition for everyone returns.
No.
I don't know. Like,
I'm trying not to swear and be really rude.
Not sure. Well, go for it. We do a disclaimer.
Fuck off,
I
basically.
feel a bit like, you know,
you.
one it does a disservice to the outstanding paint jobs and stuff that win armies on parade. It also suggests that Golden Demon isn't for everybody.
Isn't it for everyone who can physically get to a store and everyone who can afford to paint a whole massive army?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you know, new year, new army, armies on parade. No.
Full terms and conditions will be provided in April 2024. So there's only 3 months to wait for that one.
Intriguing.
Yeah. Anyway, let's
All right. I'll put up another big post in a week or two.
Stir the pot. Stir the pot a bit more. But I did think that felt very deliberate, that phrasing, like that's a message from, you know, come from above kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a marketing message. That's
right. Does feel a little bit like that.
Armies on parade sells more models. Let's get rid of Golden Demon because you only buy one model.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not armies on parade isn't.
It's always the same
outdated
people
or
that win.
anachronistic, is it?
Anyway, I'm not going to go. I don't want to go down that road.
No,
I want to go
dark
back.
place.
What do you mean don't go down that road? You're halfway down it, mate.
Hey, I'm trying to be happy. That's what my New Year's resolution was, to be less miserable. When someone asked me,
let's start asking. It's the only way stuff happens, right? Is when people ask for it. We got plastic sisters of battle. They came back.
It took 20 years,
right? So you're in it for long haul. You're in it for long haul, right? So what would you realistically like? What would you fancy? Would you say, oh, can we have like 6 busts a year or something? Or do you want Inquisitor, or how do you? Because if Inquisitor comes back, you're going to get people whinging that it's only humans at 54 mil. I want my 54 mil, whatever.
Group.
Well, I think the problem with doing busts is busts wouldn't work well as a plastic kit. Maybe they tend to work better with the resin casting. You know, can you imagine Tom's Tau bust here? Imagine that face as multi-part plastic.
But were you thinking of it in plastic? I was assuming it would come back.
That's where I'm going.
All right.
But I think busts would be more difficult for them in this style because they'd have to do it the Forge World way. And obviously they were Forge World before with that smaller run. And I think that they're probably trying to move away from doing stuff in resin casting, and plastic needs to have the sales. So I personally feel busts aren't very likely because they would work in that resin style. But I do genuinely think Inquisitor is more possible because one, they can sell that as a game. And doing a 54mm kit or 75 in plastic is way more feasible. And we already have those models with things like Alariel, all those gods from AOS. They are actually, and even Guilliman really is close to it. So I feel that that would be easier for them to produce. Plastic 54mm could be as a game, bigger sales, and that's maybe how we get it. But I can't see them doing things like busts with Forge World going. No. I think if Forge World still existed and was still going strong and doing things, then they would be the offshoot to do things like busts as they did. But I just think the resin casting, they're just probably not going to do. I don't know.
This is where it should be a licensed outfit, like GW sculpt, like GW digitally sculpts it, but then it's a small made to order batch, like in just sort of small cycles, like Lucas's stuff, cast by a second company. That would work.
I mean, they'll give a license out to any fucking app developer, won't they? Any gaming app developer. Like,
but they're not creating miniatures.
Give it out like Oprah. Like, what's wonder if they'd give it out to minute. I don't know.
I don't think they do it because I think they'll do licenses when it isn't to do with their core business model. So if it's not a miniature that you paint, they're okay with it. But they're the producers of miniatures that you paint, right? And I feel like they wouldn't go away from that. I'd love them to do large scale minis, limited ed, whatever. Kind of like when we got the character series for Heresy, really. That was almost that was what I would like, and it's just doing them a little bit bigger. But we've just had Fulgrim, Demon Fulgrim. That's the sort of thing. But I do think large scale would be difficult for them. They just want to focus on 28mm. And it can't be as profitable. It just can't be.
It wouldn't be. Inquisitor is such a fucking cool game to play, though.
So Richard's
I'm not my cup of tea, but
Richard's
I want the
brought up
models.
in the chat that but they've just announced they're doing a load of resin and metal made to order stuff for Warhammer Fantasy.
I get that, yeah.
And we have had made to order like making a bit of a comeback, haven't we? The last, say, 2 years or so. It feels like every couple of months there's a decent run.
Have you heard the stat on that, by the way? How much money they're
I was
making on
about
made
to
to
say.
order?
So that was on the recent old Hammer video, wasn't it? So it does make them money. You know, it's not a complete waste of time, and they've obviously still got the skilled workers there able to do it. I know a lot's gone CAD and a lot's gone plastic injection and all the rest of it, but there is still some, you know, of that mold making skill set there. So, you know, it isn't an exact precedent, is it? But it's evidence that they're willing to do very small run things. But I agree, it is still gaming.
I mean, it's the thing they could do is like they do it with the commemorative series. They are small batch run things. Okay, they have a gaming rule around them, but they could, and they're in plastic, but they could do it. I think it's like they could do it if they wanted to, but I think it's getting it to see how it would align in their head would be the challenge.
But
I think we've got the wrong perspective, though.
Yeah, well, we are a bit biased on how we view it, but also like they could literally do anything if they wanted to. It's just in the nicest way. You're looking at from it something that you really want, so it makes loads. This would be super easy, and I really want it. So why don't we just do it?
I think most people would say that this towel bust, they would want it, but they would probably find it intimidating, right? And I think we're coming at it. You know, we love large scale stuff. I'm painting a large scale mini today. I want a large scale marine, whatever. But I just think most people don't want that. I think it's difficult.
You don't need to sell it to most people, do you?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm just trying to think about is it worth them bothering with? And I want them to prioritize it. I'm like, why have you done a squig with Christmas presents in? When you know, why are you doing models like that? That's my perspective. Like, I'm like, why are you doing stupid models like that? It's a waste of a model. I just can't see it happening. But I think maybe with how well old games are doing, and you know, rumored we might see Battlefleet Gothic next. Maybe we'll see, you know, some other games come back. But one day maybe we could see Inquisitor, and that would be so epic. It would be really cool.
I think when we were kind of like, I know it's just us sitting around chatting about this to try and decide what we think would or could work. But I think you do try and do what Andy's just done, and what he says is like you got to try and look at it from their perspective as like a business case, because, and I might be completely wrong, and correct me if you think I am, but it does feel like it is going down that route a bit more. It's no longer, well, what would be a really cool thing to do just for the sake of doing it, or what would be a really cool hobby thing to do just for the sake of doing it. The bigger and bigger the company gets, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, all those big key decisions are going to just be business case decisions.
Yeah. I think they have been for a long time. I think sales has driven it for a long time. But
since COVID, when it went through the roof.
If we want to try and finish it positively, made to orders becoming more frequent. We've got the whole nostalgia thing at the minute. We've got them retooling, remastering molds, literally resculpting parts of figures before doing the molds in some cases for some of the old world stuff. So there's a team there that can do it. There's a little bit more coming. Maybe it's not an impossible thing. Maybe it's not as ridiculous as, you know, Fishmen or
who knows?
I mean,
things like that.
It is looking at it from their perspective as well. You have to also take into account that we are not the target demographic, the main target demographic for GW sales.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
Absolutely.
The biggest target demographic for GW sales is parents buying stuff for their kids.
I don't know, man.
It's
a whole topic.
There's all this, and let's not dwell too hard on the business side, because I think we're just going to repeating ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd love it. We'd love it. Come on, give us what we want.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question? If we go back to the slide with all those old minis on, what's your favorite?
Oh
That's
boy,
my question.
big Nazgob maybe. The best orc shaman ever.
He's really cool.
Where is it? Is it on this one?
I obviously like. Well, you can guess mine. It's
Is
pretty
it a Space
obvious.
Wolf from that Codex cover, or is it a Sherman?
A Sherman, 100%.
Techless.
Where's Teckles?
Where's
Is he on there?
Texas? Oh yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Teckle.
Big out wanker.
Yeah.
And then above him, you've got Asmodai, which is
I
cool.
don't know. I think
Probably
probably the
the-
Space Wolf for me.
Goblin Shaman.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah,
I don't
lovely,
like the
lovely.
pose of Azjaman. I always thought it was a bit boring, the pose. But yeah, loved the rest of them. But yeah, I'd love to get a hold of one of those Techlesses. It'd be cool.
It'll be about that size when it gets released, won't it?
Yeah.
It'll be about that size if you did it again.
What do you mean?
Like if you put that one against the new Techless, I bet it wouldn't be too far off.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, I think we've got one or two more, Matt.
Do. So,
Pardon
there we go.
Oh, yes. So this was, it feels like something that's been gathering momentum over the last 12 months, and we're hoping to see it, propel itself into 2024 and we get more and more stuff. And that is not necessarily a focus, but an increase in releases of larger scale miniatures and busts that are not focused on conflict or warfare, that type of thing. So a couple of examples we got obviously is this lovely little gnome scribe that we featured 1 or 2 episodes ago. Can't remember, very recently. Anyway, and I think we've got a few others as well, haven't we? I'm trying to think off the top of my head now. We've got so we've got this
both
thing
by R now.
yeah,
Both paint jobs.
Dragonhead minis. You've got again this just a very unusual unusual concept, really. A fairy with her bowl of ramen and her dragon.
I love the dragon.
And then you've obviously got some of Mark's busts recently, our friend Mark, with his, obviously this one I think is the outstanding one, the Summer Vibes girl. Excuse me. But we saw it, didn't we, with I thought particularly SMC last year. It felt like there were quite a few pictures from that featured miniatures or dioramas or whatever, or scenes that didn't have anything to do with conflict at all.
People are getting into it for sure.
Yeah,
growing.
And it's just exciting, really, isn't it? It is another huge, opens it up to some different things.
Oh, that's super cool. The Raised Bones said, I love how the packaging of the ramen dragon is in a bento style box. If that's true, that is.
Oh, is it nice?
Fucking awesome. Cool. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, that is really, really good. Yeah, so I know, when I first met Andy, it's about 10 years ago now. So like he had this little like antelope sculpt thing. And I think
Thompson Gazelle actually
mentioned it a few times before.
Can't find it.
Which presumably you've destroyed into dust by now.
No,
which
it's
is
somewhere.
why you can't see him. You've dropped him and trod on him.
Monaco cupboard.
But it was really unusual at that time to see something like that. And there's definitely been more and more. I can't think what the word is, but like accurate scale models, as it were, of existing real life animals. I'd even seen someone recently have done some dinosaurs. Was a
T-Rex.
Was it Carol? Was it, yeah, T-Rex and stuff. And it's just, it's nice that it's no longer unusual. I think is what we're getting at, and I think the biggest plus point for me is the potential of it bringing in other artists.
It's the uptick in it is really interesting. Like the first year that me and Andy went to Monty, what was that? 2014 or 15?
Yes, 14.
2014. We saw that Thompson Gazelle. There was a Thompson Gazelle model there, or there was something similar to that there, and that was the first time I'd ever seen something like that. That was literally just a deer. I was like, it was strange to see. Whereas the year we've just gone, there was loads of that kind of stuff. But like it felt like the animals and stuff were like an initial sort of way into it. Like in historical, there was just painted, but now people have started to apply kind of their imagination to that sort of idea as well. It's not just a thing from the real world. It's like the little gnome sitting sculpting in his describing in his book and that kind of thing. It's really cool to see that it is starting to get popular. That it doesn't all have to be dude killing dude for it to be.
But often it's not just killing dude, is it? But there's always a weapon or
armor
something.
or post-apocalyptic or a tank or it is always threat based, shall we say? I think potentially. Whereas just and these all. Some of the ones that we see now are so like happy and just really lovely little bright spots in the miniatures world that just make you feel really cool.
What was it called? There was something. There was a piece someone entered into unit for the MPO, and it was of a couple strolling along
on the sport pitch.
That's it, and you sort of. I feel like we're almost just at the sort of very beginning of it all, because as you're saying, Rich, you have the sort of the animal sculpts, then you have sort of normal people like we're seeing. But what was that person's name? Was it Erica? No, the person who did the 3 busts we featured in like one of our favorite things.
Gabby.
Gabby, thank you. Of those animal busts. So again, they weren't realistic, as it were, where they weren't proportional or anything. They had puffer jackets on and stuff. But it's again as a topic to do it with. So you sort of imagine, well, what else occurs that you could create in miniature form? It'd be pretty cool to have a sprinter, someone who's really, really great at sculpting anatomy. Imagine someone sculpts a sprinter, taken off from the blocks or something. Imagine how cool that.
They've already done that.
Oh, there we go. Right.
You're not seeing Jacob's one where it's the same figure, but it's someone like modern who's a sprinter, and then it's someone who's like in a tribe and they're running naked with a spear, and they're next to each other.
No, but is that Jacob that does stuff for Nordless or with Nordless? Did Jacob own Nordless? Yeah, because of course they
led
a
Nordless product,
didn't they? I didn't know that one. Yeah. But yeah, all that sort of thing.
What would you do if you could do a scene that's not war? What would you choose?
Being made right now, Matthew. Sculpted as we speak. Yeah, genuinely. I was talking to sculptor today. It's being made right now, so you'll see it.
I was just having to think now. I'd like to do like a refuge collection, like in person, just standing on the side of a bin lorry. That'd be cool.
Nice.
Nice. It'd have to be some sort of like vehicle, but obviously not a vehicle for
tractor.
Bin lorry.
Tractor.
Like what's the most? Something really like a milk float or something. Like a person delivering the milk in the morning. Like you could do the lighting really weird, so it's really dark. Have someone dropping off milk bottles or something like that. Just a really little scene just from life, or like it sounds weird. It's literally someone's like front room. Like imagine that.
Like animals.
It'd be great.
Corner shop.
That'd
be cool.
Have you seen the? I don't know what I can't remember. There's a few different people that do it where they create like scenes and it's just a city, but they'll do it quite big scale and all the bits are removable. So they'll put in like the dumpster and then the bins and then the rubbish and all that kind of. And they build it up whilst they're recording it and like take a photo at the end. That's shit's amazing.
Nice.
Something like
that. Nice. I think anthropomorphic stuff. I'm a big fan of. So, yeah.
Red Wall.
Well, I was going to say Red Wall, but then I thought that kind of does have, is conflict, isn't it? So it doesn't quite work. But no, I'm talking about. All right, I'd really like to have a bin lorry with a bin mole stood on the back of it.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you go. Right, have we got a couple more? I can't remember. Matt,
that's it.
That's it. Is it?
Yeah.
You certain? So there isn't one more?
No. What's that supposed to be?
About us?
I thought we were just going to talk about that.
Oh well, we can just talk about it then if you want. It's not quite as slick, but never mind.
The thing in the chat just says us.
That's right. It does just say us. That's fine. Yeah. So rather arrogantly, we think we're worth watching. Keep an eye on this year because we've got a paint range coming out. We've got a whole new miniatures range coming out, and we got our first in-person competition. In May, MPO. So toot.
It feels like the most significant year for us ever, really.
It will be,
for
hopefully.
me personally.
Yeah,
I'm
I hope so.
very excited about it. But yeah, it's
You
a very big year, and
It
been
will,
waiting
man.
to get a lot of these projects pushing them over the line, make everything better. But yeah, very excited, very excited about this year.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
so many cool things.
Yeah, we've a lot of these projects we've been working on for a while. But as Andy says, he's coming on full time this year, which is going to be epic for all of it. And there's been the first year was wicked, and the Day of God year was wicked, and then I suppose the weird YouTube year was a bit weird for everybody.
First
4-star
year
hat
of YouTube.
there, which is do something you didn't want to do. But yeah, Cult should have a big year. So
from the ground up,
and it's, to be honest, it's really largely down to you lot supporting us that's allowing us to do it. So hopefully you like what we do for you. Richard,
What?
good job you make good comments.
I thought it was me.
Not you, mate. Sorry, no. Yeah, paints redesigned from the ground up. You've got it.
That was on a. Remember that
it
on
was
a class?
and I think Ross was on that class. Yeah. So yeah, it should be good. Freaking finally, I know, mate. 6 years? No, 5 years, whatever.
There's one there.
It'll be good. There is one there. Yeah. Not necessarily the final bottle design. So just in case anyone's thinking about that.
No.
But yeah. So hopefully that's given you guys a few bits and bobs to keep an eye on this year or get excited about. Obviously, you've got all the usual things that we love, or the accounts that we frequently pick our favorites from. You obviously got SMC, great show, Monty, great shows, as well as a lot of smaller ones, all over the place as well. So just get them in the diary, get along, attend them. Support the producers, support the creators, support the people putting these things on, and they'll keep doing it for you. Pots will get the fuck out. Interesting.
No pots. Pots a disaster on waiting to happen.
I like pots.
Well, it's got to be in a pot. What? When does it go from pot to bottle?
When it's like a dropper, that's a bottle.
Yeah, when it's got a little squeezy thing that you can just put out. If it's a pot,
you're on
like
about
the
droppers versus non-droppers. You're basically in it.
Yeah,
that's what you're on about.
Not GW pots. Yeah, they are
screw top
bane
pot.
of
Yeah,
existence.
Tarot. Screw top pots.
Hex pots.
Fucking hell.
Screw top pots. Now we're talking, James. Now we're farming. Yeah. Tidy. Right, let's have a look what the Paint Cult has been up to. So, Paint Cultist. It is a hashtag as well as a channel on our Discord. There's, I don't know, tens of thousands of things now. So what we do for each show is pick a handful of them. It's a great one to follow. It will just, if you fancy sort of exposing yourself to different miniatures, different painting styles, different games, all that sort of thing, then perhaps will pop up in your algorithm normally. It's a really good hashtag to follow. And as I say, over on Discord, lovely little community going on over on our Discord, and there's a Paint Cultist channel on there. So all I do is pick a few, and yeah, have a look and see what they are. And I can never remember which one I picked.
Just before we go in, if you put your Paint Cultists in the Discord, can you put your Instagram handles or social handles in your Discord
if
bios?
you want?
Because
if you want.
I can't find half of you half the time.
Yeah, it's a good shout. But particularly since Instagram became a little less friendly to navigate for certain things, the Discord channel has exploded for that stuff. Hex pots, yes, now we're talking. Right. What's up first, Matt? Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Love this. As so often happens, Games Workshop releases a massive, amazing 40k launch box with really, really cool baddies in that then get completely forgotten about within about a month.
Especially because when the Space Marines that come out,
because they're not the Space Marines, yeah, exactly. Like I felt the Necrons had that happen to them, and I think the Nids have gone the same way. I don't know. I don't stay up to date with 40k. You guys do.
I don't know,
but I thought the Nid glow up was just.
There's been some really good ones, and their range is fucking insane now. There is so much.
Yeah.
There are so many plastic nids. I don't even know what they're all called, and they all look quite
I
similar.
guess in our group we're gaming with Necrons and we're gaming with Tyranids and sometimes no Marines. So
True.
yeah,
But I thought this was a lovely take on that. Yeah, awesome Termagant kit, and just a pretty full on paint job.
I like it.
I really like it. Like, yeah,
I like
really do.
I like full on paint jobs on like insignificant minis.
Exactly.
So like a guardsman or one Hormagaunt, like when it's not a showcase mini or whatever, a character. I really like it when people go to town on them. It's super cool. Or like a fire warrior, stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the nids as well just offer. I remember when all the articles were coming out about them around release, and they were saying, I think it was Jez Scuba was saying about how they didn't just want them to be bugs. You know, they wanted elements of, you know, reptilian stuff, bug stuff, mammalian stuff, all that. And I think if you look at them from that point of view as well, you've got there's tons more inspiration potentially as well in nature for schemes and things like that.
Yeah, they look more like dinosaurs,
reptiles and stuff. And yeah, just thought this was a really awesome take on it.
Wicked.
What's up next, Matt? Sorry for the coughing tonight, everyone. Oh, this is wonderful. So this this person created this for their friend as a present. And what a cool prezi to get.
That is wicked.
You know, it's they're very popular at the moment. These little scenes in boxes and picture frames. Sort of one of our faves, Roman Lepat, does tons of them. They look brilliant. I believe this was inspired by it.
I love the idea of a Krieg soldier having an acoustic guitar on the battlefield.
Yeah. You mean what he should really have is one of the you'll have seen it, Matt, where that dude strings up a shovel.
Yeah. It needed to be a shovel with strings.
Oh yeah, when he says put sugar on a shovel.
Right.
I've watched that video many times.
It's a good video. Matthias, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Discord downgrade the quality of the pictures? Quite possibly.
You can open them in the browser for the full resolution.
There we go, Bosh. Oh, that's like it did on the
even get on it,
website,
mate.
isn't it?
Oh, nailed it, Matt. Straight out the gate.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of MPO, I didn't see that. Tickets will be on sale end of this week for MPO, so we'll be doing a couple of posts about that. But yeah, I'll stick them up at the weekend. Right, what's up next?
Teeny tiny tanks.
Oh, that's good.
It is a teeny tiny tank, and it's not. Did I send you the wrong picture? I'm really sorry, Matt. I may have sent you the wrong picture because this person finished these, and they looked really good. But as you can see from this work in progress shot, they're on the right. Well. They're on the right track. It's.
It baffles me when people are painting these teeny tiny little vehicles like properly.
Well, yeah,
what is wrong with your...
The finished one of this has got like proper lenses. Like that on.
That's quite cool.
Really cool.
Probably should have.
I want to paint one.
Not rushed making these at lunch.
That's all right, mate. Don't worry.
How many parts do they come in? Like
many.
Really?
Many. Yeah. So the exhausts are separate.
Oh, fuck off.
The exhausts are individual. Many parts. But I would say, as a obviously I'm a massive fan of Epic. Blah blah blah. Other than the occasional really fiddly bit, they're really fun to build. Okay. Like I did that kit recently. What was it called? The Taurus Venator for Necromunda as well. More and more kits I'm getting from Specialist Games feel like really well chopped up kits. Like the process of building them is enjoyable. And you know, I felt like that since Titanicus came out, really. And the Epic stuff, yeah, there is the occasional bit, and it's generally more with the infantry. It's a bit fiddlier, but the tanks, yeah, there's it's pretty nuts. Some of the I'm just trying to think. So on the Baneblade, I think it is, all those exhausts are separate as well on the back, trying to get them in and things that can be a challenge.
I want to do a significant one. I really do. Like a Thunderhawk or something.
I mean, dude, the Thunderhawk's a big fucking model.
Yeah, I love that. I'd like.
It's like the size of your phone. It's a proper,
it's a
proper kit, man. So chap in my gaming group posted up an army picture, or my old gaming club rather, in London, posted up a picture of his iron hands. And I was just sort of looking at it thinking that's really cool. And it wasn't until I noticed the infantry on the round bases that I realised it was an epic
That's cool.
army, because it was because it was quite a lot of it. So it's taken from a distance, and the Thunderhawk was in the middle looking massive. And it was, so it's really cool. Really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
One or two more?
Two more.
Two more, I think there is. Oh,
that's
yes,
cool.
nice. This night, I can't think who the company is, but someone got the license
Michael
to do
Contraros.
There we go.
Collectibles.
Got the license to do a bunch of Iron Maiden Eddie sculpts, collectibles, and this is someone's painting one of them up.
See, you
Cool.
can license things out.
I mean, fair play. Iron Maiden will license fucking anything, so
Yeah.
so it's fine. Nico's just going to buy Micro Machines. Good man. They are also incredibly cool.
I love Micro Machines, man.
Yeah. Also a very good
Wish I
video
still
game.
had mine.
Did you ever have the one that was the big car that
great
folded
on the
out?
Game Boy.
Was
What?
going to go, yeah, on the Amiga. What? Say again.
The actual Micro Machines, like the physical ones, where it was like the car, and then
Yeah.
you opened up the car and it had the track inside.
That does ring a
No?
bell. That does ring a
that
bell.
rings a
Yeah,
bell.
yeah.
There's a lorry version of that as well. wasn't
No,
there?
I was going to say, I remember a lorry, a massive, like a carry case.
I just remember my McLaren F1 in sparkly orange, and then I
Nice.
had an F40 as well.
Classy.
My favourite two Micro Machines.
Yeah.
And I had a Bohr Cube, which was just a dice. It's just a square. It's so funny. And the Death Star Micro Machine was great. It was just a ball.
They still do Micro Machines. I used to go and check that. Oh, hang on, banger. Someone's asking. Sorry, it's a bit off topic, Andy. There were some plinths that you mentioned at one of your workshops. I think you used them for your Nurgle dude. Who was the supplier?
Crazy Wanky.
Pardon?
Yeah, what?
Crazy Wanky.
Wanky.
Wenky.
Genki. W-E-N-K.
I don't know if he's still making them. Yeah, he is. Crazy Wanky display plinths.
There we go.
It's a business run right manual Wenkert. So I don't know if he's still going, but he is a lovely man. Obviously, shout out to Taro for the best resin plinths you can buy. But if you want a wooden one, yeah, he
Get
does
to
a good
shows,
one.
really, isn't it? Get yourself to model shows when they're on, because you'll often have people there, won't you, doing them.
I'm feeling a show. I feel like I haven't been to a show for ages.
Oh.
November, buddy. Last one on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll draw all now.
May's going to be here tomorrow. Right, one last choice. Where are we?
That's wicked.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
So good, these trolls, man. This is like when we're talking about doing large scale. You just do one of these trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Like that latest troll's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. It's starting to see a lot now coming out from like Caesar Sigma, him, some of those what they called Harbinger models. Now people have had a few months to really get some paint on them.
Mm-hmm.
Some proper tasty paint jobs, of which this is one.
Great color palette.
There we go.
Cracking.
Right. Anything we missed?
I think we did all right.
I think we're good. Cool. So if you
didn't
guys
get too annoyed about Golden Demon.
it was all right. A tiny bit of wish listing. It's all complete fact. We just can't tell you who we heard it from. But yeah, if you've got anything you'd like us to talk about in particular as a topic or account you'd like us to take a look at, or an artist or an event or things like that, then get in touch with us. We're on all the usual things. Can't promise to always do them, but if we think it's cool, then we absolutely will. And it's Cult of Paint on all the usual different places. If you're watching this back on YouTube, hit the like, subscribes, shares, all the rest of it. It does make a massive difference to us. We're planning on being nice and regular again this year. We've started well. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing some shorter podcasts in between these live shows as well. But, life gets in the way. It gets harder and harder to coordinate 4 people but we don't want to stop talking about it all, and we don't want to stop doing these live shows with you guys as well, because chat's pretty fucking rad. So there we go. So anything to add, chaps?
Good.
No.
We're all happy, right? Nice one. Well,
GW
thanks very
make
much.
bus.
Say again.
Just
Make big
GW
bus.
make bus.
Make bus. Do more.
Keep banging on about it.
Plastic. Cool. Nice.
No,
one.
finish my older army first.
Oh yeah, check those out. They've been really good on you, mate. New year, old army. Everyone's been doing really fucking well.
Yeah.
So keep it going. And let's talk about Old and Demon soon. Go and check out that account. Right. Thanks, chaps. Thanks, chat. Take care. We'll see you next time.
See you.